Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Malawi, and also the Chairperson of SADC, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, Honorable Minister Esenhoa Ndua Mkaka, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Malawi, Minister of International Affairs and Cooperation, Republic of Botswana, Dr. 𝐌𝐀𝐋𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒, Minister for Presidential Affairs, Governance and Public Administration, Republic of Botswana, Honorable 𝐌𝐀𝐋𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐒, the Executive Secretary of SADC, His Excellency Elias Mpedi, senior government officials, I welcome you to this very brief media briefing by the High Excellencies that have just completed a brief meeting too. They will address you just to give you feedback on their discussions, after which I shall take 4 questions, 2 from Botswana and 2 from Malawi. And I shall plead with you to be specific and brief in your questions. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies.
Well, let me begin by welcoming His Excellency President Chakwera and his delegation, and ask that we begin this media briefing. His Excellency is not just President of Malawi. For those who don't know, he's coming here in his capacity as Chairman of SADC. So out of regard for his chairmanship, let me allow him to begin by briefing you about the visit. But I can tell you it's been a historic and a tremendous joy, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Your Excellency, my brother, the President of the Republic of Botswana. There are cabinet ministers here, and we have the Executive Secretariat for SADC. Members of the press, I just want to express deep gratitude, having had a very successful visit here in Botswana at the SADC Secretariat. We wanted to push for progress on regional economic integration. I was very eager to have this meeting with my brother and counterpart, President Masisi, just to express my gratitude to him for the warmth and hospitality that I and my delegation have felt ever since we landed in this wonderful country. And so while paying this courtesy call, I took advantage of President Masisi's warm welcome to cement and strengthen our bilateral relations, that is to say, relations between Malawi and Botswana. And in particular, I expressed to the President my eagerness to see the Joint Permanent Commission of Cooperation between our 2 nations meet in order to establish greater collaboration in the areas of trade, health, mining, education, and security. And similarly, I informed His Excellency President Masisi of my desire to see Malawi learn from Botswana in the development of the tourism industry, wherein Botswana has made great strides and Malawi has great potential. But I also mentioned to him the fact that the mining industry, which is Botswana's mainstay, is something that we could learn from. And during our wide-ranging deliberations, I expressed my gratitude to President Masisi for his support and solidarity toward my public protest against the unilateral travel ban against SADC member states by some development partners in the global north. I've always believed that Africa is an economic and cultural giant, but the nations beyond our continent will only respect us when we speak with one voice, and I can't thank President Masisi enough for adding his formidable voice to the chorus we are building to present the region as a bloc to be reckoned with, not to be exploited. And as we speak, the new variant, COVID-19, is ravaging nations in Europe and elsewhere, but we have no plans to close our region to travelers. We want people to be aware and to follow the protocols, and we have learned a lot in this country how you are managing this, so that as people travel, they comply with the measures that are put in place, measures that are based on the advanced science that our region excels in. And congratulations to the scientists in Botswana and South Africa, because you've led the way. I can confidently say that when it comes to cutting-edge science in the area of public health, the SADC region is in a class of its own. For the management of viral infections is something we do very well, and so we will never allow any nation to look down on us in this regard. A case in point is actually Botswana itself, which is a leader when it comes to curbing the spread of any variant COVID-19. And I just learned from Your Excellency the scientists that are very meticulous and detailed. And so as we continue to keep our region a peaceful region, we want everyone to know that SADC is open for business, is safe to travel to, SADC is peaceful to live in, SADC is ripe for growth and development, and SADC is ready for trade and investment, and SADC is creating the future, because SADC is here to stay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I could just, in confirming what His Excellency has reported on, add to it by stating that we in Botswana congratulated His Excellency for his stewardship, his steadfast leadership of SADC, and assured him of our support as he, as the face of SADC, communicates our values and beliefs to the rest of the world. And so we commended him for his defense of our integrity as a people, including the rights we should be enjoying to travel the world and follow the protocols as established by a world organization, being the WHO. I also thanked His Excellency President Chakwera for his strong support for our candidate then, who now is the Executive Secretary of SADC, His Excellency Elias Mahosi. And if it were not President Chakwera and others like him, we may not have had Ramaphosa as Executive Secretary. So our delight in having Ramaphosa as Executive Secretary is born out of the strong solidarity that we experienced from the time we went to seek support in March this year from President Chakwera. And we pledged to him that we in Botswana too would reciprocate this kind of support, because coming together and holding hands as a region makes us go further and do more. And in the same spirit, we committed to deepen and broaden our bilateral cooperation by signing all the outstanding MOUs and indeed participating in the JPCC to be hosted by Malawi at a time to be mutually agreed between our officials. And we also agreed that our officials would meet and work on a program under our guidance of collaboration, a lot of it stemming out of our mutual desire to develop Malawi to realize high income status and Botswana to, middle income status, and Botswana to realize high income status, and therefore take advantage of the unique comparative advantages that each country has, and even those that we seem to mirror from one another. Malawi has an excellent drone technology education program, and we have a satellite program that's 3 years to go, run by BUST. But essentially at the tertiary level, even at the basic level where we develop fundamental basic skills in the STEM subjects. We've agreed to collaborate. In the area of agriculture and livestock disease management and control, we've agreed to collaborate. In the area of human illnesses and pandemics, whatever they may be of, the epidemiological interventions, we've agreed to collaborate. So our ministers and officials have a lot that they can do to package a very exciting program that we're going to support very, very strongly. And on the issue of peace and security, stability in the region, we reaffirmed our commitment to SAMIM in Mozambique and its ideals, and we will give them moral support at the political level, both of us, as all other leaders do. And in this instance, we are resolute to make sure that the insurgents in Mozambique end with their attempts in Mozambique, never to be repeated or attempted anywhere else in the region. So we want to keep this place forever peaceful and safe for investment and living in. The same goes for Eastern DRC, where there's some simmerings of new troubles. We will lock our heads together, obviously as the organ, and I'll be in consultation with my chairman, President Ramaphosa, and the incoming chair, 𝐏𝐿, and we will report to the chair of SADC what it is that we are able to do or need to do or establish as we dialogue. And clearly, Eswatini is on the radar. We will keep it under watch as the organ. Through the chair, Ramaphosa, we will keep updating the chair of SADC. Really, I say these things to show that SADC is fit, is alive, and well. As we end the year, and we wish each other a very Merry Christmas, as we do to you, members of the press, SADC is kicking, it's alive and well, agile, and is going to do wonders, wonderful things, under the very capable chairmanship of His Excellency President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi, who also loves Botswana, and Botswana loves him. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So with that, I guess, as the moderator said, we will take a few questions, Christmas questions.
Yes.
Jimson, please go over the microphone, introduce yourself, and then be brief.
My name is Jimson from YTV. My question I want to direct it to His Excellency Chakwera. As the chair of SADC, what are you intending to do about the political killings in Eswatini? Because it seems you have not touched on the issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mutle.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Latile Mutle from Duma FM. My question will go to President of Malawi. Your Excellency, there are hashtag Chakwera must fall protests in your country. We would like to appreciate from your end your interpretation of this and what you should be doing to end this protest.
Thank you. We've taken 2 questions from Botswana. I'll take 2 from Malawi. You from Malawi? Thank you. And Your Excellencies, pardon the 3 gentlemen for not wearing ties and jackets.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. My question goes over to His Excellency State President for Malawi, and it's related to the COVID-19 issue that he had alluded to in his speech. Your Excellency, when the new COVID-19 variant was discovered in South Africa, several Western countries indeed imposed a travel ban to the SADC region. And as chairperson of SADC, you spoke strongly against this. So, Your Excellency, what do you believe is the better way of dealing with any variant that may be discovered from any part of the world. And may I ask you to, as you answer this question, to also briefly answer in Chichewa for the benefit of our audience in Malawi.
Thank you very much. Last question from Malawi. If there isn't any, the veteran journalist will temporarily assume the Malawian citizenship. Okay.
Your Excellencies, my name is Nelly Kabaduga from Malawi News Agency. My question goes to President Chakwera. What will be your take-home message as you go back to Malawi tomorrow? Thank you. Your take-home message to Malawi.
Take-home message?
Yes.
Okay. I will use my discretion and give Ramadubu just to ask the last question. It will probably be directed to President Masisi.
You spoiler.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. My name is Jikarava Ramadou. I work for Botswana Guardian. My question is directed to President Chakwera. I just want you to share with the African continent. You recently decided to establish an award. Give us more details about that award. What influenced your decision to come with that kind of an award? I thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It looks like when I can't handle it, I'll have to let you help me.
Right.
But what is SADC going to do vis-a-vis political killings in Eswatini? As a region, we have an organ, and President Masisi is the outgoing chair, President Ramaphosa is the current chair, President Geko is the incoming chair. Whenever issues come up, they lead the way, and they have been in contact with the people in Swaziland. They have been in contact with the king. They have been in contact with the government. They have been in contact with those that are wishing for greater democratization happen. And I have had a report from President Ramaphosa of the initial stages as to what is going on. What we need is more democracy and not less. What we need is more cooperation and more talking to each other, not shouting at each other. What we need is more understanding so that the people of Eswatini can realize their aspirations despite the fact that there is a kingship that all of them ascribe to. So we will work with the region, and we will work with the established instruments to make sure that all things are done right in Eswatini. And that is a regional issue. Just like we cooperate in security matters, we do in political issues as well. There is a hashtag of Chakwera must go back home in your country. What are you going to do with all of these demonstrations? Well, for starters, Malawi is a democratic state, and we have made it sure everyone knows that they have a right to assemble, they have a right to demonstrate, they have a right to state what they feel is not right or is right about any administration, including mine own. I just want you to know that we are dealing with issues to do with that country advancing with a vision that will truly create wealth for everyone, a vision that will enable the country not only to feed itself, but to feed other nations, a vision that will make that country an industrial one in conjunction with the SADC vision and the Africa Union vision. And in doing these things, we are making certain corrections about certain things that used to happen and have been happening. And these are things that we are dealing with very sensitively, knowing that not everybody will be in line with that. The agenda is clear. We will, just like I have always done so, talk with these folks. Some of them we have already begun to talk with. Hear them out. If government needs to respond to the concerns, see how best to respond to those concerns, and we will do that. The COVID-19 issue, what do you think is the best way to handle even future variants? Because you came out very strongly after the variant that was sequenced here in Southern Africa. The information had been shared with the rest of the world, and then certain countries just immediately imposed travel bans. My argument had been based on the fact that what was stated had nothing to do with the science that Southern Africa had proven. What was stated was basically based on emotions now, as if that variant originates here, when it does not, when here is where it was identified because of the caliber of scientists that we have in Botswana, in South Africa. And so my argument was, don't lump Africa as the source of something that sometimes you wish maybe it was, because it wasn't. South Africa, Botswana needs to be applauded for sharing with the world the knowledge that they had discovered. And so this, to me, I think my brother president here has so stated correctly to the whole world. President Ramaphosa has so eloquently stated the whole world, even when he was in Senegal. We want people to treat Africans with the same respect that they want to be treated. We want science to lead the way and not certain kind of emotional knee-jerk type response. We need to be guided so that we follow protocols that the United Nations and the World Health Organization propose and deal with us. We need to deal with an issue of this magnitude multilaterally, not unilaterally. We need to be able to speak to one another as human beings. We are but one humanity facing a global problem of a magnitude we have never faced before, and we need to do that together as humanity, because we will overcome together. Not one person will be able to say, I have done this, therefore I'm the one who really has saved the world. It's all of us working together to find a common solution. And ndipempha kuti ndinenepo mchichewa ndingonena kuti ganizo lomanena kuti ku Africa kuchokera matemberero nganizo lachabechabe, chifukwa si ganizo loona, koma kuti akatswiri a science akuno ku Botswana ngakhale ku South Africa ndiwo amene anali woyamba kunena kuti coronavirus tsopano yafika kamtundu kena, ndipo chifukwa cha ukatswiri wawo adaona kuti kwabwera tsopano ka variant katsopano. Pouza dziko lapansi, anthu m'malo moyamikira adangoyamba kunena kuti sitifuna aliyense kuchokera ku Africa kubwera kwathu kuno. Mavuto watu siwa ku Africa kuno ni mavuto a dziko lonse lapansi. Ndipo zimene mukumva lero zimene zikuchitika pa dziko lonse lapansi sizidachoke ku Africa kuno. Ndiye kumalankhula ngati kuti Africa ndiye vuto. Chimenecho sichilungamo. Tingogwirizana. United Nations timakambirana bwino zinthu, komanso World Health Organization amalankhula bwino zinthu. Tonse tigwirizane kuti tipeze yankho ku matenda ovuta ngati amenewa. Osanena kuti popeza anapeza kanthu katsopanoka kapena mmene matenda awasinthira ndiwa ku South Africa ndiye kuti kumeneko ndiye kuti anthu akumeneko asabwerenso kwathu kuno. Iyayi zikufalikira motani kumeneko. Matenda awa adangozindikirika kuno chifukwa cha anthu amene adabwera kuno kuchokera kwinako, koma akatswiri bathu ndiwo amene anapeza zimenezi. Chifukwa chake ine ndalankhula molimba mtima kuti tisamalankhule chotere, tiye titsate sayansi, tiye titsate malangizo amene akutiuza zakuti tikhoza kupewa matenda amenewa, chifukwa msaganize kuti wina wake ndiye azipulumuke kwina kwake, ngati kwina konse zinthu zimenezi sizithandiza kuti tizione ngati mdani wa ife tonse. Ndiye tonse ngati anthu mpofunika tigwirizane, osati wina pa yekha koma tonse pamodzi. I have two more questions. One was, what is your take-home message from Botswana? From SADC, Secretariat, I am greatly encouraged with the leadership of our dear brother, His Excellency Elias Mahosi, and the whole team there impressed me from various nations, how they are on top of things, wanting to implement SADC protocols, SADC vision, and asking questions as to how best they can even handle certain sensitive issues, which I was very, very happy to hear about, because they're very candid. And I said, SADC leadership is there to cast the overall vision, but SADC depends on you as Secretariat to make sure that these things are being implemented and implemented right. So my take-home message is that my visit to the SADC headquarters here as current chair has been a very successful visit and very successful interaction, and I am gratified that Botswana, which hosts all of us as 16 member states of the SADC, is home to all of us. So I told my president brother that when I am in Gaborone, I am home, because this is the home of SADC. And so I am happy to go home knowing that my desire to see what happens here and what has happened in the past and what is currently happening and what will happen in the future is something that gives me confidence that SADC is on the move, that SADC will truly industrialize and integrate in terms of trade and the movement of people across the whole region. What about this award that you made mention of? You know, earlier in the year, I was crowned as champion of higher education across the continent by universities of the continent. And what I believe is that Africa needs to do more as a continent than it is currently doing. Young people do not have the kind of issues that some of us older folks have. They want a continent that is united. They want a continent that is moving with speed. They want a continent that is together. They want a continent that is not exploited, but rather recognized for what it is. They want a continent that uses its resources to develop the continent and not to continue to be at the mercy of whoever, because Africa is a great giant. And I want to encourage young people to speak this out and to challenge us even in political leadership, Many of us have egos sometimes that we feel like they are bigger than the continent. The continent will be feared and respected, but the rest of the world, when the continent is one and moving ahead with the kind of resolution that says we don't want anyone messing with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you, Your Excellencies, for this kind gesture, which is actually a demonstration of the commitment of your administrations to free media, as well as recognition of the media as an integral part in nurturing our democracies. We thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you, members of the Fourth Estate.
Thank you, members of the media. Thank you, my brother President.
Thank you.
I think now we've earned some lunch.
Well, yeah, I think we deserve it.
Bye. Thank you. Your Excellency.